Hello and welcome to this free mandolin lesson aimed mainly at advanced players, but this tune should be accessible to some intermediate players as well. I'm building on a lesson I've already done on Fly Me to the Moon on a beginner and intermediate arrangement, which is linked above, and we're going to put back in all of the jazz syncopation, the jazz colour tones and chords, and do what is a slightly more advanced arrangement, and should hopefully, at the end of the video, sound a bit like this. Everything we talk about in this video is available as part of a free PDF guide, which is linked to the video description below, that has all of the tab, music, chord charts, chord shapes, so you don't have to do any of this by ear. You can have it all in front of you as you learn. We'll start with a look at the melody. There's 4 sections to the tune, or I've named them A, B, C, and D just for the purpose of this lesson so we know where we are. Now in the A part, when you find the melody, the A part is written like this. This is how I've written it. Now originally in the simpler version, that was much more straighter. So if there's your beat, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's perfectly fine, but now that's kind of quite straight, and when you listen to singers do it, they push and pull at a lot of the melody. So keeping the same note, C, B, A, G, F, I've now got this, so if this is your beat. So it's got a lot more feel to it, a lot more swing to it. But from your point of view, if you're not experienced at reading music and timing, it can look quite odd on a page. Like, how do you know where all those notes fall on the beat? So I have 2 methods that I use. I just want to quickly show you how you would try and read one of these melodies to get the right rhythm. The first thing I do is imagine where beats 1 and 3 are. So I kind of tap my foot, or I'll put the metronome in a second, and then I try and line up the notes that fall on beats 1 and 3 with that metronome. So I've put little blue lines, I've done that work for you in the tab. So if that's your 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So in my head, I know that the 3 in the C natural, and then the A falls on beat 3. Then there's nothing on beat 1 of the next measure, and then there's an A on beat 3. So you kind of go through and match up what notes should fall on beats 1 and 3 with the metronome. The other method I use, if that doesn't work for you, because you do have to know a bit of music theory to work that out, is what I would call the constant 8th note exercise. And I did a lesson on this recently, so if you didn't do that, have a look at this. And what you essentially do is turn all of that melody into constant 8th notes. So your first note, which is a dotted quarter note, which is equal to 3/8 notes. So you essentially just keep your right hand moving. And that, to me, is one of the most useful ways of working out how a melody should fall, because then what you can do is, whilst you're working out the timing of each one, because you know it's 3/8 notes for the first 1 and 2. You can eventually, when you start realizing, that also gives you the right pick direction, because you see which 8th note the melody falls on. So down, up, down, up, up. So all of a sudden, as well as the right timing, the right pick strokes fall into place when you do that method as well. So with all that in mind, I'm going to now play the opening phrase again. Try and play along. I've written it out, and I've written the pick strokes above. So down, up, down, up, up, down, up, up. It's very syncopated. That's why there's so many upstrokes. This is 60 BPM. We'll be at this speed for the whole lesson. So 1, 2, 3, 4. As you can hopefully feel, we've now got some swing. We've got some sort of feeling back in the melody rather than just da 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 da. So with that in mind, let's play through each section because I've built most of the melody on that phrasing. So once you've got that, we can have a go through everything. So let's try the A part first. 1, 2, 3, 4. Four. And then the B part, I'm just going to whiz through these. We'll have a full playthrough at the end. So after 3 for the B part, with the pickup note, 1, 2, 3. 4, 1, 2, 3. Still some syncopation going on there, even though the melody's simpler. Now the C part, which is the same as the A part, so you get another go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Two, 3, 4. And we're almost there. The D section, which is very similar to the B section. 1, 2, 3. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. And now the chords. So when you first look at the chord chart, it can look quite daunting. And for the benefit of this lesson, I'm not going to sort of describe every single shape. I have included every single shape at the end of the PDF. I just want to talk about the theory of a couple of the chords so you know sort of what's going on, why it's a cool sounding chord, and how you could find it in the future. So the first one, A minor 7. Nice and simple. It's an A minor with a 7th added. And it's technically the flat 7. So it would be A, C, E, and a G natural. So there's a G natural here. So 2, 2, 3, 3 gives you a very nice A minor 7 chord. The second and third chords are actually linked. It's D minor 7 to G7. Now, in jazz, that's known as a 2-5 progression, or technically a 2-5-1. It's because the D minor is 2 of C, and the G7 is 5 of C. So on the mandolin, whenever you come across a 2-5, because they'll come up in a minute, there's a neat way of doing it. So 5-3-5 gives you D minor 7, and if you just knock your middle finger down to 4-3-5, that gives you a G7. So that's your 2, that's your 5. That happens all over the place. So in the middle of the B part, where you've got an E minor 7 to an A7, that's another 2-5 progression, but of D. So you've got the E minor 7 and an A7 there. So you should be constantly on the lookout for 2-5 progressions when you're playing jazz charts, because they are really neat on the mandolin. The B minor 7, flat 5, looks complicated, but when you work it out, B minor, 7, flat 5, so we flatten the F. So the best way of playing all of those notes is just 4-0-0-1, because that gives you your B, your D, your A, and your F. It's kind of meant as a clashing chord because it wants to resolve. It sounds nice when you put it in context. So if we just try the chords to the A part, you can sort of have a go and you can see how it's all working. So we've got A minor 7 to D minor 7 to G7, so you've got that 2-5. If I ever shout 2-5, that's what I mean. You've got that 5-3-5 to 4-3-5. Then a C major 7 to a C7. Then an F major 7 to the B minor 7 flat 5. And then an E7. And an A minor to an E. So let's just try that together. I'll set the metronome at what is essentially 60 BPM, because that's the speed we're going to be at for the whole, for the jam session at the end. So there it is. So they're quite quick, these chords. Might take you a few goes, but let's have a go at the A part. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. G7. Here's a C major 7 to C7. F major 7. B minor 7 flat 5. E7. A minor. So that's how quick they move. Let's give that one more go to the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. A minor 7. B minor 7. G7. C major 7, C7. F major 7. E minor 7 flat 5. E7. So it might be worth taking a moment and having a look at the chord chart and the shapes and getting ready for them, because I don't want to go through every single one. Otherwise, this video will be 45 minutes long. So have a little pause, play through the chords, and now let's have a jam through the song so you can put it all into context. I suggest rhythm-wise, keep it really simple. So I kind of do like a bass and strum, but I cut the chord short. So it's like almost a bluegrass chop chord. It's not a forceful, it's a soft. So I am cutting the notes short. That's how I'll be playing it. It's basically a bass and strum because there's enough going on in the left hand. No need to make it more complicated than it has to be. 1, 2, 3, 4. Another 2/5 here. C. Different 2 and 5. Back to another 2 and 5. That's it for this lesson. I hope you enjoyed playing that. The melody is relatively simple once you get the hang of those pick strokes. The chords move, as you might have felt, the chords move really quickly in this one, so might take you a few goes to get right, but really satisfying when you do. Whatever chords you choose to play, you can choose the beginner chords or intermediate chords or advanced chords. You can still sing it, so fly me to the moon. Even with the simple chords, you can still sing the song. So I hope you take it away. Perform it to all your friends, make them sit down and listen to all the hard work you've put into learning this song. I hope you've enjoyed the lesson. We do these every month, so please hit like and subscribe while you're here, or head over to mandolin.com for all the other free lessons we've done in the past few years, and we'll see you next month.